We're out here today to review the brand new Steyr L9A2 MF. And there you have it, folks. I love it. That's my review. It's great. Fantastic in every way. Thanks for watching. All right, guys, so what we have here is the brand new L9A2 MF from Steyr Arms. I'm pretty impressed with it, I'm not gonna lie. There are a few things that I'm not a huge fan of, but nothing that's gonna turn me away from it at all. There are three different variations of this pistol here. There's the L9, the M9, and the C9, which is 4.5 inches is the L9 here, and then there's 4 inches is the M9, and 3.8 inches is the C9. As far as I can tell, they all come with the same grip, but you can get them in either 10 or 17 round. This is the second generation of this pistol, the second version, the newer version. There have been a few changes to it, nothing drastic though. The MF in the name stands for Modular Frame, which is kind of cool. These guys are the first ones to do it, I think. I could be wrong about that, but they do have a patent on it. Some of you might yell at me and be like, oh no, SIG did it. No, these guys did it first. A few other changes of this: can change the back strap out, and both of the palm swells are interchangeable. So you can customize this grip exactly the way you want it. I have all the largest palm swells and back straps on it. I like that little extra material there to get a good solid grip on the gun. Another thing is there's a little bit of an undercut here. That really wasn't there on the first one. Instead, they had some big finger grooves in there. I'll try and find a picture of one actually so I can show you guys. And they changed the texture up on the grip quite a bit. The first version, it was pretty smooth. What I'm told anyways, I haven't got my hands on one. From what I've seen, people didn't really like that. They'd have to have it stippled because there wasn't much of a texture there. That's what the finger grooves were there for, and they kind of helped keep it in place a little bit better to make up for that loss of texture. Also, the front of the trigger guard, there is a little bit of texture there if you like to mount your index, your support hand index on there. Also, there is a full Picatinny rail on this one. The first version, there was only one tooth there, I guess, if you want to call it that. I'm not sure what kind of attachments Steyr themselves offer for this, but this just makes it a little bit more customizable, I think, rather than just using proprietary attachments. One big thing that I think a lot of people are not going to like about this, but I happen to love, I think, are the trapezoidal sights. They're kind of funky, a little bit of a triangle there. I don't know if you can see that very well. I'll give you a better picture. But I find them very easy to track and acquire and line up and get a good sight picture on them. I think they're freaking great. Way easier than your typical 3-post style. But the one thing some people might not like about those is you'll see there's not much on the front, not much material on the front of that sight post there, which some people might like for one-handed manipulation. You can't really, I mean, you can kind of get a little bit if you're on a table, but on your belt, it's a little bit more difficult to do. That's not really an issue for me since this is mostly going to be a range toy for me. I don't plan on ever carrying this thing. I got my M&P for that, and I'm perfectly happy with that. Now, the things I don't like about this, or another thing I don't like about this, is the mags. They do not fall free. They are in there rather tight. I'm not sure if that's something that's going to loosen up and wear down and get a little bit better with time. I hope so, otherwise maybe I'll file it down because I would really like those mags to fall free. One thing I forgot to mention also, another added feature on this is they flared the mag wells a little bit, which some people might really like that, but if the mags don't fall free, that's kind of a pointless feature, I think. Biggest thing I love about this gun, it is incredibly ergonomic. You grab it and you don't gotta change anything. That's right where your hand goes and it feels great. It's comfortable. The point of aim is natural to me. You can get really high up on that grip because and there's a low bore axis on this, which I think is absolutely amazing. I've only put a couple rounds or a couple mags through this at this point, but to me it seems like that does a real good job of mitigating that recoil. The other thing is this trigger. This trigger is fantastic. It is smooth. It feels much lighter than it is, and the brake is just great. It's clean, it's amazing. It's one of the nicer triggers I've ever handled. One thing some more people won't like is the reset. It is very light. It's not so light that it bothers me very much at all. I can handle it. I'm gonna put up with that. One of the other guys here, Johnson, he likes to ride the reset. I do not. So he doesn't really like that, but that's not a big deal for me. If you like to ride the reset like Johnson does, you might not like that. But other than that, this trigger, it's fantastic. I think this is an amazing gun at this point. I think I'm gonna put a few more rounds through it, put it through its paces a little bit. Obviously, I'm not gonna do a torture test or anything. It's a brand new gun, don't be ridiculous. We're gonna see how it runs, and I'll give you some final thoughts later. See if you can't pick up the pace a little bit with it here now. Did have a failure to eject there. I don't know what the failure was, but the rest of it was fine. All right, so I field stripped it real quick and scrubbed it down a little bit and put a little bit of oil on it, and I'm gonna see if I can't get it to failure to eject again. See what's going on with that. Well, it ejected, but it did not lock back. I'm not sure if that was my thumb being in the way or not. I'm gonna chalk that one up to me though. Okay, so first impressions. Second first impressions, I think, actually. I am still quite impressed with this gun. I'm not sure what the two failures to eject were about. I did clean it real quick and put a couple more mags through it, and it didn't do what it had done before. And by the end of the day, mags are now falling free, so that's no longer an issue for me. Just need a little bit break in, I think, maybe a little bit oil some places. But I am very impressed with this gun. I love the trigger, I love the sights. I like how the mags fall free now. The grip, the texture could be a little bit more aggressive for my liking. I carry an MMP 2.0, and those are like sandpaper to me, so that's what I'm used to. And these, I did find my hands slipping just a little bit when I was shooting quickly, but I think that's something I could work on with my grip pressures and maybe get that figured out for myself. But other than that, I think this is a very impressive gun. You will not be disappointed if you go and pick this one up. Anyways, that's all I got to say this time around, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.